Now at 9, the Jasper County prosecutor announces whether she'll pursue charges in an officer-involved shooting from February. Plus, we'll hear from some Vernon County, Missouri residents as they try to clean up following heavy flooding, and how the Joplin Public Library is helping people convert their old media platforms into digitized versions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach, and we have some severe weather in our area, and we're going to go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty.
Yeah, we didn't get much of a break, just Sunday to tonight, but overall, I don't think this is going to be a huge deal for us. We still have a tornado watch in effect in our western counties. Had tornado warning out of Chautauqua into Montgomery. That rotation has dropped a little bit, but we do have severe thunderstorm warnings. Wilson, Neosho, Labette, Montgomery, Chautauqua, and down through northern parts of Washington County. And this is mainly for winds kind of 60 to 70 once you get back into Montgomery County. But you can see these storms are drifting south and east. I don't think we're going to get two strongest storms, kind of Pittsburgh to Joplin, but we may need to watch Miami as we go through the next couple hours. But again, these are going to be dropping south and east, so severe thunderstorm warnings into Washington County and then Montgomery, also Labette County, of course. We're going to keep you updated on what is to come here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A state investigation clears a Joplin police officer of wrongdoing in a shooting. The Missouri Highway Patrol was called in to investigate a February 9th shooting on West 7th Street. In that shooting, the officer fired one shot that hit a suspect's hand and wrist area. The suspect was then treated for non-life-threatening injuries. An internal investigation conducted by the JPD determined the officer acted appropriately. They then called in the MSHP to process the crime scene and investigate as an outside agency. Based on their report, the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office determined charges are not warranted against the officer in the case. Some Vernon County, Missouri residents say the floodwater is receding slowly. Vernon County is one of the areas hit hard by the heavy weekend rains. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has the latest on the aftermath.
Vernon County, Missouri received between 10 and 15 inches of rain, causing flooding at several creeks and 3 rivers running through the county. The Road and Bridge Department has been on alert since last Thursday. County officials say they are dealing with moderate damage to gravel roads, fallen trees, and farmland. Some county roads remain underwater and impassable. Nearby residents say this is normal during the springtime.
I used to live back down the road about 3 miles, and whenever the water would get up, it'd surround our whole house years ago, back when I was a kid.
Larry noticed the water receding and hopes it will be back to normal levels in a couple of days. He also noticed an uptick in traffic to check out the flood zone.
Well, I think there's about 50 cars a day come out here and stop and look at it.
Reporting in Vernon County, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
You can read the full written statement from Vernon County officials about the flood impact and specific areas of concern on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The log jam on the Neosho River in Ottawa County, Oklahoma continues to grow near Twin Bridges State Park. It's estimated to be the size of 2 football fields right now, with more debris expected to join in from upstream. We spoke with the mayor of Miami, Bless Parker, who says there's currently no plan to remove the jam.
There's really not a whole lot we can do. You know, the accountability falls on GRDA. And GRDA has never been held accountable by our state, by our governor, by our legislators. They've never been held accountable for anything they've ever done. And somebody needs to hold them accountable. They're in charge of this water system, and they need to operate it the way it's supposed to be.
There are also concerns about a BNSF railroad about a half-mile downstream from the log jam. Well, the race for councilperson in Ward 1 of Carterville, Missouri is over. Residents today voted in a special election to determine the winner after the race ended in a tie, with 14 votes going to both Devin Keeling and Darlene Taylor. 5 more residents cast their ballots today, with Keeling winning the position by a count of 18 to 15. Authorities say a mountain lion was spotted yesterday near Galesburg Middle School in Neosho County, Kansas. The city says the mountain lion was startled and then fled south. Officials advise people to use caution during outdoor activities in the area. To report a sighting, contact the Neosho County Sheriff's Department or the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. Joplin Public Library is offering a non-conventional service, conversion of VHS, vinyl, cassettes, and DVDs to digital. Photos, negatives, and CDs can also be converted in the makerspace. It's an opportunity to relive memories and save them for future generations. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
This is all I have of my boys growing up. I really treasure the tapes, watching them dance around when they were little and all that, and it made me sad that I can't even watch them anymore.
Tara Smith found in her workplace, the Joplin Public Library, a way to relive her kids' childhood memories.
They're getting old. I don't have a VCR anymore, so I thought I need to convert them. This has been great that I can convert all of these memories of my kids.
Joplin Library Makers Space offers Joplin residents and visitors the opportunity to travel back in time.
Whoa!
I've had patrons that come in and it's old family videos of someone they've lost, a pet that they had when they were 5, you know, those are always fun. School recital that you haven't thought about in years that you kind of wish you hadn't saved.
The service also offers a way to reconnect with pictures and videos differently.
Something that's really great to do, to be able to see it even bigger than just on your little camera or your phone.
And to offer future generations like Smith's grandkids the chance to see life back in the day.
They're getting a kick out of, yes, this is your dad when he was your age, and so I think they will really enjoy being able to see them easier now.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Well, Joplin Library Makerspace also has equipment for cutting or engraving a variety of materials and a 3D printer. Joplin residents are not the only ones who can benefit from it. To make appointments for conversions and other services, contact the Joplin Public Library. You can find more information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, dozens of vendors set up booths at the Together Crawford County Community Job and Resource Fair today in Pittsburgh. The fair brings together local resources and employers. Organizers say the goal is to provide a community service.
It's to be involved in the community, to bring the community together, to share the resources. Often you don't know about resources until after an incident you've gone through. So really trying to be at the forefront of helping people in the community.
Together, Crawford County Community Job and Resource Fair took place at the Pittsburgh Memorial Auditorium. Well, coming up, experts explain why the latest health guidelines encourage less alcohol consumption. Some health experts are calling for closing time on research that promotes drinking moderate amounts of alcohol for health benefits. Fox News' Chris DeMeo has details on new research that could change guidelines on how much alcohol is too much.
If getting healthy is on your spring to-do list, some doctors say putting down your drink could be a good place to start.
There is a trend towards recommending less and less alcohol use, and that comes with the emerging data and research that we're seeing that low amounts of alcohol can be harmful.
This comes as new research shows just one standard drink of alcohol, which equals a 12-ounce beer or 5-ounce glass of wine, could lead to negative health effects.
We know for sure that anything that is moderate or more can be harmful and can cause a lot of different diseases.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says consuming any alcohol can increase the risk of cancer because the body breaks it down into a chemical called acetaldehyde, which damages cells and prevents them from making repairs. Some doctors also advise against older research that suggests possible benefits to moderate drinking.
In a more recent study, it suggests that actually there really isn't any level of alcohol consumption that is considered beneficial.
The United Kingdom, France, and Denmark are among countries investigating the benefits of consuming less alcohol, while Ireland will require cancer warning labels on alcohol bottles starting in 2026.
Worldwide, it's really important to have strategies for mitigating risk and minimizing alcohol use.
The CDC recommends community strategies such as increasing alcohol taxes and restricting hours of sale to limit excessive alcohol use. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Sources say the Justice Department will move to loosen federal restrictions on marijuana. Right now, marijuana is considered a Schedule I drug, which means it has no medical use and a high potential for abuse. Other drugs in that category include heroin and LSD. The Justice Department reportedly wants to move it to Schedule 3. Those substances are considered to have moderate to low potential for dependence and includes things like Tylenol with codeine and anabolic steroids. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later the MIAA announces its all-conference softball awards. We're going to see which Gorillas and Lions made the list.
Well, of course, overall today turned out to be a pretty good day. We had nice sunny skies, temperatures pretty good, and then now we're getting some additional showers and thunderstorms back into the region, with some of these being strong to severe, especially in our western counties. Looks okay right now at our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking at downtown Joplin. All right, tornado watch till 11. Most likely this will be able to be expired, but you can see we have severe thunderstorm warnings in Wilson, Montgomery, Neosho, Labette, back through Chautauqua County, also into Nowata and Washington County in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. And that's where most of the severe weather is going to stay as we go through the evening hours. A little bit more intense once you get out across this Kansas-Oklahoma state line. These are developing a little bit. Most likely they're going to be good old showers and thunderstorms, maybe a strong one or two once you get into Pittsburgh and Joplin over the next couple hours. So I think the little farther west you live, the little better chance to get some severe thunderstorms. So there's that one that is severe. Northern parts of Montgomery, Labette, into Neosho, and then Craig County for winds at 60 to 70 miles per hour. But all this is just moderate to strong thunderstorms. So that means most of us will just get moderate to strong thunderstorms, but we have had the flash flooding threat over the past couple days, but still severe threat kind of ongoing, let's say for Chautauqua, Washington, Nowata, Craig, maybe Ottawa, Cherokee, Labette counties in southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But this whole line sinking off toward the south into the east. And you can see the heavier amounts of rain, the brighter reds, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning right on top of Montgomery County, about ready to push toward Coffeyville at this point in time. And then again, lighter rain, southeastern Kansas and southwest Missouri. All right, let's watch this drop in. Again, we can't rule out a random severe thunderstorm warning, but again, the heaviest will be along this state line, Kansas and Oklahoma, but it's going to be kind of loud. And we are going to have those heavier pockets of rain, probably winds 40 to 50 for most of us. Showers and thunderstorms stick around through the night, non-severe, along and south of I-44 into tomorrow morning, and then they kind of flare up again as we get into the morning hours. So that means we'll start the day on the wet side with some showers and thunderstorms across the region. So something we'll keep our eyes on. Let's go ahead and jump ahead because we are going to get some severe weather tomorrow afternoon, but this is going to be mainly to our west. So I think once we get rid of these showers and thunderstorms in the morning, then we are looking pretty good by the time we head into the afternoon. 79 tomorrow, 77 on Thursday, afternoon thunderstorms on Thursday. Friday in general looks okay, a few showers. Then chances for thunderstorms back in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week that we'll have to keep our eyes on.
I'm digging these temperatures for early May. I mean, sometimes it gets really hot, so.
Yeah, looking pretty good.
Well, we'll take that. All right. Thanks for keeping an eye on things.
Of course.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, how inflation and budget cuts are hurting America's largest fast food chain. The Federal Reserve today opened a two-day meeting and topping the agenda, interest rates. They've been at a 23-year high since last summer, and all signs point to no movement from the Fed. Persistent inflation continues to dog some consumers, even revealing its sticking power inside a slower than expected first quarter GDP report. There's some good news though. If you're a saver, you can get a 4 or 5% annual percentage yield on a short-term CD or money market account. Even savings accounts are up if you can lock it in now. Well, stretched budgets are forcing McDonald's customers to pull back. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Sabiri has more from Chicago.
McDonald's leaders say that cash-strapped customers are not eating out as much. And despite reporting mixed results today, they are still planning to open about another 2,100 stores around the globe. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the cost of making food at home rose 1.3% through 2023, while eating out rose 5.9%. In the earnings call this morning, McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczynski says most of the pricing increases are carryover, and he blames the cost of labor, specifically in California, where the minimum wage for fast food workers is $20 as of this month. He also went on to call the pricing sensationalized by the media. McDonald's franchisees have the autonomy to set their own pricing. Overseas, the chain's been dealing with the effects of the war in Gaza, the company announcing it would buy the franchisee in Israel, who has a 225-store, 5,000-person operation. The company has been trying to get people in the drive-thru by selling Krispy Kreme donuts and its offshoot Cosmics, their version of a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donut type concept, expanded to Texas this month. The company has teased that it's developing a larger burger. They plan to debut this in several markets to test it out later this year. In Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
Up next, signing days are usually reserved for athletes, but we'll check out some Pitt State students signing on to the workforce. The Pitt State Electrical Technology Program held a signing day today, similar to an athletic signing day. The program recognized 18 students who will not only graduate in May, but have been recruited for full-time employment. For the electrical instructor, right now is the best time for these students to enter the electrical industry.
Equivalent to, honestly, to a nurse's certificate. Not the same as an RN, but a lot of work, a lot of learning has been involved. And our program is also very hands-on, so not only do they know it book-wise, they know it by hand, be able to do it with their hands. And so they'll go from wiring houses to industrial positions to building large commercial buildings.
Industry representatives were in attendance to take part in the celebration. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Pittsburgh community members and city leaders gathered to discuss Highway 69 expansion options. Plus, Kansas lawmakers vote in an effort to override the governor's veto on a youth gender-affirming care ban.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Crawford County residents today voiced their support for a plan to expand Highway 69 as it currently is, rather than creating a new bypass. The SEK Highway 69 Strategic Alliance hosted a meeting to bring community members together with Pittsburgh and Crawford County officials to discuss these expansion plans. Now, one option is to expand the current bypass, which many of the residents in attendance were in favor of. Another is a plan to create a new bypass west of the current one in Crawford County. Some residents are worried that would hurt local businesses.
Determination now is not so much to be against the western bypass, but to be for upgrading and improving the existing bypass around Pittsburgh. We know that's a lot more economical way to go.
KDOT is currently looking at economic surveys to see how much of an impact each plan would have. Well, communities in multiple states are bracing for more storms as they clean up debris from deadly tornadoes. Hundreds of volunteers are showing up to help with recovery efforts. Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez has more.
Days after tornadoes plowed through the Midwest, another round of severe weather is threatening cleanup efforts. Forecasters say large hail, strong wind gusts, and more twisters could hit parts of the northern and central plains through Tuesday. This comes as people scramble to recover what's left of their communities.
We're just taking it day by day. I mean, you come upstairs and see that you have no house emerging from the basement. You're home, but you're actually homeless.
From Texas to Iowa, people are still digging through piles of debris where homes and businesses once stood. Some saying they're seeking shelter with family and friends after losing everything. At least 5 people were killed during these storms, 4 in Oklahoma and 1 in Iowa. Others now telling their terrifying stories of survival.
I found a foot. They kept on digging and digging. More people come and they dug me out.
Hundreds of volunteers now helping clean up and distribute food, clothing, and water after those tornadoes destroyed grocery stores and hospitals. Here in Nebraska, some say these tight-knit communities will continue to show up for one another.
You don't really have a choice. You got to start over. I'm just super grateful and blessed. I got my husband, my dogs.
Nebraska's governor declaring a state of emergency, unlocking additional resources for those survivors who are just starting that recovery process. In Elkhorn, Nebraska, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
Here's Kansas will not be banning gender-affirming care for minors. The State House last night failed to override Democratic Governor Laura Kelly's veto of the bill. The Republican-controlled Senate had enough votes to enact the ban, but the House was 2 votes shy. The measure would have stopped hormone therapies, puberty blockers, and surgeries for trans and non-binary youth in Kansas. Governor Kelly called the failed override a win for parental rights and Kansas families. Well, the FBI is assisting with the investigation in Charlotte, North Carolina, following an ambush that killed 4 police officers. Members of law enforcement were trying to serve a warrant yesterday when the suspect opened fire. 3 of those killed were members of a U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force. The other was with the Charlotte McClickenburg Police Department. 4 other officers were wounded. The suspect was also killed. The New York jury in former President Donald Trump's criminal case heard from more witnesses today after the judge fined Mr. Trump $9,000 for violating his gag order. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the details from New York.
Court proceedings resumed for the week with Judge Juan Merchan's decision to fine Trump $9,000 for 9 different Truth Social posts violating his gag order. The judge warned the former president he could be jailed if it continues. Trump is not allowed to publicly comment on witnesses and jurors.
It's absolutely outrageous. The idea that President Trump should be sent to Rikers over essentially reposting things that other people had already said about how unfair his cases are.
The jury heard from several witnesses, starting with Gary Farrow, a banker for Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, who set up an account and a $130,000 transfer at the center of the trial. Farrow says he didn't know what it was for, but stopped doing business with Cohen after the Stormy Daniels hush money story came out. Lawyers also question an attorney who represented both Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, helping sell McDougal's affair story about Trump to the parent company of the National Enquirer. Some say they're still waiting to see a smoking gun connecting Trump.
We still did not get that direct link connecting Trump to this payment that would put him squarely in the crosshairs of criminal jeopardy.
While President Biden campaigns in Delaware Tuesday, Trump is impatient. He'll be in the Midwest on his day off from court Wednesday.
I'm going to sit in a freezing cold icebox for 8 hours, 9 hours or so. They took me off the campaign trail.
The former president's son, Eric Trump, was in the courtroom Tuesday. Trial will pick back up on Thursday. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
A little bit later, the return of commercial flights at supersonic speeds.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice one for us today, and then showers and thunderstorms have been rolling in over the past couple hours. More rain across the region. We have had some severe weather, mainly on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, and I think that's in general where it's going to stick as we go through the rest of the evening hours. But look at these storms diving south and east, losing a little bit of their punch once you get from Fort Scott to Pittsburgh, Nevada, Lamar, just rolling in, and then still stronger once you get back farther west along the state line. But these are going to continue to drift southeast through Pittsburgh, through Joplin, through Neosho, Cassville, Table Rock Lake, all the way into northwestern Arkansas. We do still have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings once you get out across southern parts of Montgomery County down through Nowata County and also Washington County in northeastern Oklahoma. But I don't anticipate much in the way of severe weather farther east. Maybe this cluster in northern Labette may give something to Ottawa, but that would be a low-grade severe thunderstorm. But again, some heavy amounts of rain. All right, zooming in, you can see the reds, lightning bolts. So electric storms. Here's Bartlesville, South Coffeyville, Independence, up to Parsons, probably pretty loud. Moving in Oswego, also Columbus at this time. Then we can check a little farther east. Still about 10 miles north of Carl Junction, and then over toward Jasper, Missouri. It is kind of dropping through. All right, so let's go through the rest of the night. Here it comes. Sliding through the region. Some heavy amounts of rain with this pocket of showers and thunderstorms, but clearing out later on tonight. But then we get another batch, which is going to start to roll in as we go through the morning hours for us tomorrow. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms should not be severe, but they are going to start to work in. This is all due to an upper level wave kind of rotating through the northern plains. We have another one back across Idaho, which will affect us especially on Thursday with additional chances for thunderstorms. All right, so wet start tomorrow. By the afternoon, partly sunny skies. Most of us should go into the upper 70s. Severe weather tomorrow night out across central Kansas. Won't make it in here until very early Thursday with some showers and thunderstorms during the morning hours. As we get into Thursday afternoon, very similar to what we have seen today, a band of showers and thunderstorms with a severe threat will drive through the region. All right, rainfall amounts just over the next 24 hours. A lot of areas going to pick up an additional half an inch, inch and a half, which of course we've had the flash flooding, so be careful on some of those especially low-lying areas if you are going to be out. 79 tomorrow, scattered morning thunderstorms. Let's go 77 on Thursday, a few morning thunderstorms and then some additional ones late. Friday in general looks okay, then scattered thunderstorms once again moving back in over the weekend.
All right, well, a lot of rain in that forecast.
There is.
A lot of rain. Not like we haven't got enough already.
I know.
That time of year. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, a track and field school record holder from Riverton signs with Pittsburgh State. Plus, a Pitt State softball pitcher is named MIAA Freshman of the Year. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. A school record holder at Riverton signs this afternoon to continue her track and field career at Pitt State. Riverton High School senior Kelsey Locke signs with Pittsburgh State track and field today. She holds the school record in both shot put and discus throw. The future Gorilla says Pitt State is always where she wanted to go.
Years ago, if you would have asked me, you know, are you wanting to go to college for throwing, I would have been like, I don't know if I can make it, but I worked so hard this summer for this, and I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to throw collegiately. They were the top of my list because their track program is awesome, and I knew if I could secure them, like, oh, it was just exciting.
The MIAA releases its 2024 softball postseason awards this afternoon. Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State both well represented, but the Gorillas overwhelmingly lead the way. Pittsburgh State head coach Jenny Fuller and her assistants are named the 2024 MIAA Coaching Staff of the Year. According to PSU Athletics, this is the first time in program history that a Gorilla softball coaching staff has earned this award. Pitt State won the regular season conference title and is ranked 4th nationally in the most recent coaches poll. Pittsburgh State outfielder Heather Arnett is named the 2024 MIAA Softball Co-Player of the Year. She shares the award with Taryn Ritz from Central Oklahoma. Arnett led the conference in hits, batting average, runs scored, triples, and stolen bases in the regular season, and she holds school records in career stolen bases along with runs scored in a single season. Pittsburgh State pitcher Ava Laurent is named the MIAA Freshman of the Year. She's made an immediate impact in her first collegiate season. with a team best 1.97 ERA. Laurent also leads the conference in strikeouts with 192. She holds a win-loss record of 18-1 on the season. Here's a look at all of the Gorillas to receive all conference honors. Maddie Fernandez, Hannah Burnett, and Paxton Hayes, they join Laurent and Arnett on the first team all-conference. Burnett and Arnett each are named to the MIAA Gold Glove team, and shortstop Gabby Schultz receives honorable mention all MIAA honors. Elsewhere, 6 members of Missouri Southern softball team take home all MIAA honors. Taylor Knuckles, Kylie Jacks, and Kara Amos are all named to the second team all-conference. Jacks is one of 3 Lions on the Gold Glove team, along with Kiki Pickens and Yasmin Vargas. Then Vargas and Katie Gray, both of them are on the honorable mention all MIAA team. Fairland Slow Pitch Softball qualifies for the state tournament for the first time in school history, and tomorrow morning the Lady Owls begin play at state. Here's a look at the bracket for the Class 3A state tournament. It starts and ends tomorrow. The Lady Owls face Tushka in the quarterfinals at 10 a.m. If they win that first game, they advance to the semifinals at 1 in the afternoon. Then the 3A state title game is tomorrow evening at 5:30. The Lady Owls got to this point by winning both their district and regional tournaments. They won all 3 games at districts by a combined run differential of 23. Then this past week, Fairland wins 2 of its 3 games at regionals, beating Dewar in the championship round. That's a look at sports. Back with more news after this.
Remember the Concorde? Boom Supersonic will introduce its own supersonic jet in the coming years. Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble gets an inside look.
Commercial supersonic travel might be here sooner than you think. This plane behind me is basically a 1/3 scale prototype of what will eventually become Boom Supersonic's passenger plane, carrying about 8 people. They call it Overture. And take a look at this. Boom says flying about twice as fast as commercial planes do today, and of course, faster than the speed of sound. Its planes will be able to drastically cut travel time on transcontinental flights. Here's what those Overture planes will look like. The company already has more than 130 orders and pre-orders from United, American, and Japan Airlines. When you think about supersonic travel, you probably think of the Concorde, which was really expensive, unattainable for a lot of people, and ultimately was taken out of service a few years after a deadly crash. Boom's CEO says his company's planes will be different.
Compared to Concorde with half a century old technology, today we've got lighter materials, better aerodynamics, more efficient engines, and we put all that together. Our first airplane will be able to make supersonic flight available at business class kinds of fares. And then we'll be able to do premium economy, and then I think there's a future not too far away where supersonic can actually compete with economy class fares.
Now, the research, development, and testing is already underway. This video shows the plane you just saw on its first test flight last month, the very first time that aircraft ever left the ground. We talked to the 2 test pilots who will take it on more flights below the speed of sound, at first subsonic, looking to eventually fly supersonic, possibly as early as this year.
Each time we go out, we go a little higher and a little faster. And we'll work up in altitude and up in speed, sometimes at the same time, sometimes separating those 2 things.
Second flight will have a lot of first as well. That'll be the first time we retract the landing gear, so that's the big focus of the second flight.
Boom is about to open a new factory in North Carolina. They hope to have passengers flying on these planes commercially by 2029. There are other companies working on similar projects, but Boom CEO tells me they've got about a 10-year head start on the competition. In Mojave, California, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Exciting news. Well, coming up, no patient is too small or too tall for one Oklahoma chiropractor. A chiropractor in Oklahoma had a special patient with a lot of neck to adjust. Not only does Dr. Joran Whitley work on humans, he treats animals too. That's why he was called in to relieve a jaw problem on Jerry the giraffe, who was having an issue with chewing. As Jeannie Moose reports, it was a tall task.
Now lift your head. If you think adjusting a giraffe's neck would be a pain in the neck, listen for the crack. Here's how this Oklahoma chiropractor describes it.
Being able to work on a giraffe is a chiropractor's dream. I mean, it's the largest neck in the world.
Dr. Joran Whitley was called in because Jerry the giraffe, owned by a private rancher, had a chewing issue.
His jaw was not moving to the left.
So Dr. Whitley stuck his neck out trying to adjust Jerry's. What does it feel like to adjust a giraffe?
Their hair is pokey and their tongues are really slimy. Oh, it's like a short-haired cactus.
Along with his human patients, Dr. Whitley specializes in animals, mainly dogs.
Oh, I heard that.
But also chickens. And after Dr. Whitley adjusted this injured bat, he says it was once again able to climb and hang upside down. He's even adjusted sedated lions. Like this one in South Africa. Skeptics say chiropractic has no basis in science, that there's no proof it works on humans or animals. But Jerry's owner told the Washington Post the giraffe's chewing improved after his adjustment.
Oh, there we go.
And look at that reaction. One commenter called it the look of bliss.
They're a lot more appreciative, I think, than some of my human patients. He absolutely loved it. I mean, he was rubbing all over me, but he was licking all over me.
We do not recommend this much necking when showing appreciation to your chiropractor.
That's pretty cool too. And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of the 35th annual Great Bed Races ahead of the Kentucky Derby. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.